What's up guys, Master Fox here, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about the OCG April 1st ban list. I was originally going to make a video about predictions for the TCG April 1st ban list, but seeing as the OCG ban list just came out today, I wanted to just leave some my own thoughts about it. So let's just look at the forbidden cards. So we see pretty interesting forbidden list this time around. We see all 4 Dragon Rulers forbidden, as well as El Shaddai Construct. So let's talk about the Dragon Rulers first. So this is actually really interesting. I didn't think this would happen at all, especially in the OCG, because the OCG is pretty liberal with their cards, and for them to outright ban the Dragon Rulers is pretty surprising. So I think the reason that they banned the Dragon Rulers is because of Dark Matter Dragon and its OTK abilities, because the deck along with the Dragon Rulers can output a ton of damage really quickly, and that's probably why they banned the Dragon Rulers. And then seeing as there's a couple other really powerful rank 7 decks, or rank 7 XYZ monsters coming out, like Red Eyes Flare Dragon, I believe, and Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. The Dragon Rulers were probably the best rank 7 engine out there right now. Maybe Mermails too, but the Dragon Rulers are gonna, anytime a powerful rank 7 comes out, the Dragon Rulers will be able to use it. And so I think OCG just banned them all, and so they wouldn't have to deal with it. This is an interesting choice, I guess. I don't think that the TCG will follow in their footsteps, at least not in the April list. And for the Construct ban, this is actually really surprising because while I know that Shaddals have been doing very, very well in the OCG despite their heavy hits there, to see that Construct is outright banned, you can't even use one of them at all, is very surprising to me. And as you see the rest of the hits, this April 1st list in the OCG essentially just destroys Shaddals as a deck. And I suppose you can still run it, but it's lost a ton of its power from this list. So that's it for the forbidden cards. So let's move on to the limited cards. So they brought back Dark Magician of Chaos. There's an errata to the card, making it so that you can loop it as it's only a once per turn effect, and you only get the spell card back to your hand at the end of the turn, so that you can't get it instantly. And in my opinion, this errata wasn't really necessary with Dark Magician of Chaos, but I guess Konami is afraid of any loops or anything that could possibly do. But regardless, it's back to 1 in the OCG, so that's always a good thing. And I guess it wasn't nerfed too bad as compared to a card like Sinister Serpent, which is nerfed kind of tragically. Another limited card is Curry Bandit. I guess this is another target towards Shaddals, because in the OCG they use Curry Bandit a lot. We don't use that much in the TCG over here, but they use it a lot in the OCG, so I can see them limiting Curry Bandit for that. Mathematician is for Shaddals as well. Shaddals use 3 Mathematician in the OCG as well as in the TCG, for I think in almost every kind of build and variant. Necros of Brionac. This is not too surprising to see Necros get some hits. They weren't really hit directly in the previous list, as more generic ritual support was hit, but to see them hit Necros directly is a good thing. And El Shaddai Fusion Limited, you can just see the hits towards Shaddals coming and coming. There's I think there's been literally 4 cards specifically targeting Shaddals here. Necros Cycle, it's another Necros hit that's actually directly hitting the deck, which is much needed. Sacrifice, this is hitting Cliffforts. This is a good hit in my opinion, because Sacrifice gave you so many ways to get to Scout in addition to Summoner's Art. And then they hit Vanity's Emptiness to 1. This is fine by me. Vanity's Emptiness is a really powerful card, and most decks are kind of forced to run it at 3 to even compete. So hitting it to 1 is pretty fair hit in my opinion. Okay, let's go on to the semi-limited cards. So they have Manju of the 10,000 hands semi-limited, and so this is moving back up from limited in the previous list, and this is good in my opinion because Manju is a more generic ritual support. So they kind of swapped Manju and then they limited Bryanak in the process. And this is, I think this is obvious, kind of like a profit-based bait and switch, because they hit Manju and Senju and Preparation of Rites in the last ban list, which are generic cards, and they didn't really hit any of the Necros cards directly, and that's obviously because Necros was in the set that was selling at the time. And so now that it's they sold a lot of the sets, they can hit Necros and swap Manju back. They hit Scout. This is for Cliff Forts. This is a pretty solid hit as well. They only semi-limited it, so it's not so bad for the deck. They can still survive pretty well with 2 Scouts. They brought up wind-up carrier Zemedi to 2. This is fine. Even 3, in my opinion, is completely fine because for those of you that don't know, in the OCG they banned wind-up hunter, so you can't hunter loop anyways. So even with 3 carriers, there's not too anything like too dangerous that you could do. I mean, you can spam a bunch of rank 4s and stuff with it, but it's nothing that the top decks are really scared of. And then they brought Formula Synchron up. This is in line with TCG2. We also have it at 2 over here. And then they have a whole bunch of unlimits, which most are fair in my opinion. They unlimited Archlord, Christia. I don't really know why this card is on the list for so long. So having it unlimited is good. Insector Hornet, this card is no problem unlimited at all either. I don't know why a lot of people are afraid of Insector Hornet being unlimited. The difference between 1 and 3 isn't really that much. It's just that the deck doesn't get like destroyed by a DD Crow or something like that, and it makes it more consistent to get Hornet to your hand. But it's not like having multiple Dragonflies where you can just spam a bunch of monsters from your deck. So Insector Hornet unlimited is fair. I hope the TCG follows in this too, because Insectors aren't really doing well now, and they could use the power up. And they brought Firefist Rooster back to unlimited. This is interesting actually because even 3-axis in the OCG is a very legitimate deck, and bringing back Rooster to 3 really makes it so that it's worth playing the deck too, because I think a kind of near full power 3-axis deck in the OCG would have a really good shot at being pretty competitive, because I believe they have Spirit at 2 and they have Rekindling at 3. So now that they have Rooster at 3, they essentially have all the pieces that they need. It's just that Spirit isn't completely unlimited, but that's still pretty much everything you need to run the deck, because with 2 Spirits you can loop them back with Lion Emperor much more consistently. So that'll be interesting to see how Firefist does over there. And then they unlimited Burner, Lightning, Reactant, and Stream. This is pretty obvious. Now that they banned the Dragon Rule, there's just no real reason to keep these guys on the list. And they unlimited Senju. This is another trading hit for Necros of Bryanak. And they brought back Sinister Serpent, so that's just because Serpent got an errata. It's actually really bad now, so unlimiting it is pretty obvious to do. They unlimited Winda. This is, I guess, to trade for the banning of Construct and then a whole bunch of other Shadal hits, and this is fair. They had a limited last list, and it's unlimited now. That's fine. Another interesting thing is they unlimited Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. So you guys got to remember that in the OCGs they still have Gateway at 3, or not at 3. They still have Gateway at 1, and so now that Shien's coming back to 3. It's kind of interesting for the deck as well because they have Soul Charge. So if you Soul Charge back a bunch of Shiens, like even 2 Shiens is pretty difficult to deal with, especially for the top decks like Necros and Cliffforts, because they have to use their spell cards a lot. So 2 Shiens is a really powerful lockdown for that. So that'll be interesting to see in the OCG. Since they have Gateway 2, they have a bunch of plays they can make off of that. So Big Eye is unlimited too. OCG had this on the list for a while. It was kind of a weird hit back from Dragon Ruler format, I believe. They brought back Monster Gate. Okay. Temple of the Kings, was errated, and Exchange of the Spirit, this was also errated. So overall, I guess the OCG list is pretty good. Seeing if I were to see something like this in the TCG, I think I'd be pretty happy. The last two lists in the TCG have been rather lackluster in my opinion, and they were very passive. And I hope that they are more active in unlimiting cards that need to be unlimited, and actually addressing the meta decks directly, rather than with indirect decks, especially like those hits to Manju and Senju like in the OCG. I'd rather they just hit something like Necros of Bryanak or one of the ritual spells like the OCG did in this list, and address Necros directly rather than hitting the generics and ending up hurting some other ritual decks like some people like to run for fun, like Relinquished. But yes, that's just my analysis of the OCG April 1st ban list. Tell me what you guys think about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video.